Eat this. Avoid that. Every week a new nutrition rule tries to replace the last one. That confusion is not an accident. The next rule says the opposite. That is how people stay stuck, scrolling, and buying another reset. Then comes the diet pitch. New name, same promise, same panic, same confusion when real life starts. The result is what you see on screen: confusion, not clarity, and definitely not consistency. The complexity is manufactured. The more confused you are, the easier you are to sell something new. Nutrition is not a list. It is a system. Once you see the system, bad advice becomes easy to spot. Underneath the noise are a few principles that explain almost everything: energy, protein, fuel balance, micronutrients, and habits. In about 6 minutes, you get the full map. Stay for the habits section, because that is where good nutrition usually breaks or finally starts working. 5 parts. Not 5 products, but 5 layers of the same system. Part 1 is calories and energy balance. Nothing else makes sense until this part is clear. The list builds in the right order: calories first, then protein. Next on the list are carbs and fats. Both are fuel, and both matter. Then come micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that quietly support everything else. Last, real-world habits. That is the bridge between textbook knowledge and real life. Part 1 is calories and energy balance. This is the foundation the rest of nutrition sits on. Foundation is not a vague word here. It is the layer that decides whether the rest can work. A calorie is a unit of energy. Food is fuel with a measurable energy value. Protein and carbs, about 4 calories per gram. Fat, 9. Every food on screen carries energy. Different packaging, same physics. Your body spends energy in 3 big buckets: resting. Eat more than you burn, and surplus stacks. Burn. That relationship has a name: energy balance. Learn it once and nutrition gets much easier to read. No diet overrides this. Keto, fasting, juice week, different. Most adults land roughly 1,800 to 2,500 calories. Quality changes health. Calories change weight. Both matter, but they answer different questions. Log a few normal days before you change anything. Adjust by 200 to 300 calories toward your goal, then reassess based on what actually happens. Get calories right first. Everything else in this video. Part 2, protein. Once calories are in the right range, protein becomes one of the most useful levers you have. Muscle, repair, structure, protein is not a bonus macro for gym. The diagram shows the spread: muscle tissue, enzymes, hormones, all downstream. Animal proteins usually arrive complete, with all 9 essential amino acids in one package. High-protein meals stay with you. That is not willpower, it is hormones. The card states it plainly: protein wins on satiety. More fullness. That is why higher protein often lowers total calorie intake without a constant feeling of restriction. Targets for active people, about 1.6 to 2 point. The list on screen is your shopping logic: poultry, eggs, fish. Rough guide: 25 to 40 grams per meal. That is the practical. Meal prep on screen is the habit: protein in every meal. Powders are fine when life is chaos, but food first. Supplements. Part 3, carbs and fats, your 2 big fuel tanks. Neither. Bread, rice, and potatoes are all examples of carb-rich foods that fuel training, movement, and brain function. Carbs provide 4 calories per gram and are a fast, useful source of glucose for the brain and muscles. Saturated, unsaturated, and trans fats all behave differently in the body. The diagram is a quick map, not a moral ranking. Rule on screen: neither macronutrient is the enemy. Demonizing one macronutrient. We already fought a war on fat, then a war on carbs, and neither one solved the real problem. Processed aisles are built to make overeating easy. That is the real trap most people are up against. Refined carbs spike and crash hunger. Whole food carbs bring fiber and steadier. Athletes often need more carbs, sedentary days may tolerate fewer. Match. A practical starting split is carbs at roughly 45 to 65% of calories, fat at 20 to 35%, and protein making up the rest. Stop moralizing food as good or evil. It creates shame loops. Think in terms of energy, quality, and amount. Drama is optional. Function is what matters. Part 4, micronutrients, vitamins and minerals in small doses with outsized. Color on the plate is not aesthetics, it is coverage. Different. Vitamins, organic, fat-soluble versus water-soluble, different storage rules. Minerals, inorganic, from soil. Micro means small amount, not small importance. Gaps can drag on for years before people recognize them. Minerals on the list: bones, oxygen carrying, immunity, hundreds of enzyme. The hub diagram makes the point: micronutrients affect immunity, brain function, metabolism, and more of what you feel every day. Vitamin D and iron show up constantly in global data, billions. Deficiencies often creep in slowly, with fatigue, mood changes, and performance decline showing up before the obvious diagnosis. Eat the rainbow. Each color signals a different phytonutrient and micronutrient. Leafy greens, bright fruit, legumes, nuts, seeds, rotate. 5+ servings. Supplement when intake and sun exposure cannot meet the need: vitamin. Supplements are insurance after food falls short, not a replacement for a weak diet. Part 5 is habits, where nutrition knowledge meets your actual week. This is where most plans either stick or collapse. Knowing the plan and living the plan are two different jobs. The gap between them is where most people get stuck. Consistency beats perfection. 6 months of decent execution beats 3 weeks. Sleeping under 7 hours pushes hunger hormones in the wrong direction, so you feel hungrier and less satisfied. Good sleep does not fix everything, but it makes appetite control. Stress raises cortisol and steers cravings toward dense, quick calories, often. The rule is blunt: treat stress as something that changes food. Meal timing tweaks are small compared to sleep, total intake, and consistency over weeks. Your environment beats willpower at 9 p.m. Put the foods you want to eat more often where they are easy to reach. Meal prep and grab-and-go protein are how busy people keep promises: reduce. Build for the worst week, not the best Sunday. If your plan only works when life is calm, it is not a real plan. The best diet is the one you can still follow when life gets messy. Pull the whole thing together as one framework, not 5 separate arguments. First, calories control body weight. This is the gate every diet walks through, whether people admit it or not. Second, protein supports muscle, recovery, and satiety. Put it on the plate early, not as an afterthought. Third, carbs and fats are both tools. Match them to demand instead of picking a team. Fourth, whole foods cover the micronutrient ground your body quietly depends on every day. Fifth, consistency is what turns science into results. The best plan is the one that survives real life. If you watch this far, you already have a better nutrition filter than most feeds online. Use it this week on one decision at a time. Next is protein, the one macro most people still undereat even after they think they understand nutrition.